Hey guys, we are back here for another video. So we're going to get into this situation with Porsha Williams. As I told y'all earlier, she has put her Duluth property up for sale. And if you guys are on my Patreon, I actually was able to show you the full video that shows the pictures of the property and everything else to that nature. So if you guys are on Patreon, go check that out. But let's get into this video because what Porsha has done, honey, is she has fallen on hard times and mommy dearest got to go. Well, guess what, mommy dearest? You ain't got to leave here, but you got to go somewhere.
She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on live. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Cause the tea don't stop.
And listen, y'all, I'm with everybody in the comments because if it was me, I would just keep this property. This is a very nice property. It can use some, minor updates, but this is a really nice property. So it's crazy that you want to keep up with the Joneses knowing you can't afford it. But here's the deal. Good luck with Porsha trying to sell her property. Hopefully she sells it, but I feel like if she really want to sell it, she's going to have to really come down in price because the way everything is going, it seems like the only person that's going to buy it is probably an investor who could pretty much flip it. But you guys know how that goes. Generally, when people sell their property, they want to get all of their equity out of it. Y'all know how it go as a homeowner. That is the reason that you buy a property so that you can take full advantage of the equity. But unfortunately, we're in a market where it may sit for a while. But it's actually a double dilemma here. And let me kind of tell y'all why. Because Simon has said in multiple interviews, he ain't paying Porsha SHIT, which means she needs to pay the mortgage in the property that she lives in, then the one that her mama lives in. And this is another thing I did not tell y'all. And I got this information a while ago, which I didn't really talk about it because we really only talk about the reality stars. Her mother is not a reality star. But someone did tell me that the mother and her boyfriend are no longer together. So I'm just wondering if that's the case, then if the boyfriend is maybe paying or helping paying the mortgage, who's paying it now? So it looks like Porsha is definitely selling this property. As I stated to y'all before in court, she said that she needed to sell this property. But here's the deal. What if she sells it and doesn't get anybody to buy her? I'm sorry. What if she sells it and cannot get a mortgage for the one that she lives in? So here the property is. Here it is actually on realtor.com. You guys can kind of check that out. But here are some pictures for y'all. She's selling it for $1.8 million, which I said may be a problem because it is a nice property, very nice property, but it can definitely use some updates. For instance, the outside, it needs some work. It needs some work. And I would think if somebody's going to pay 1.8, they want the house to at least be move-in ready. I'm not saying it's not move-in ready, but what I noticed from the house is the basement is not done. So there's a few things that the house definitely could, you know, be upgraded. So we'll see how that goes. But like I said, in this market, the way things are going, I don't see it happening, but hopefully it happens for her. So this is one of the things I was saying. It is a nice property, but right here, this is the lower level, and I mean it's not done. The house is nice, but hey, if somebody's gonna pay 1.8, I would imagine that they would at least want a finished lower level. So there's, just a few things that I would think that a person would want complete in a house that they're selling for 1.8. And y'all, the market is just not doing good. The economy is just not doing good. If this is correct, I heard someone else say that the house that they actually bought well, I shouldn't say that they bought, but the house that Simon actually bought. Now, I don't know if this part is true, but I was told that they bought that property furnished, and I was told that the owner of that property lived there for a few years before he or she was even able to sell it. So, although Porsha is, you know, probably going to be the one that's going to be buying it, allegedly, hopefully, she's still going to have to put some money down. So I can kind of understand why she needs to sell this property, because she's going to need it for a down payment. So I just feel like there is so many things that need to go right for her to be able to buy this property. And it only take one of those things to go wrong, and it's a done deal. For one, she has a lot of bills to pay. She got mortgage over here, mortgage over there. Simon already told y'all he ain't paying it. So she got to pay this, she got to pay that. Not only does she need to do all of those things, she needs to sell this property for the right amount so that she has down payment money. And we hope everything goes through credit wise. We hope she comes back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I just feel like, if you know, if I would never be Porsha, but I'm just saying, if, let's just say, if I was in that, you know, in that particular situation, I would sell the property that she lives in now. I would sell, she can probably take a lot of that money and pay her house pretty much off. I mean, depending on how much she owes on it. I just don't understand why somebody would want to be in debt just to look like they have something that they cannot afford. It must be very hard for her to be working like a Hebrew slave and never see her child because she's trying to pay bills, when Porsha can live very comfortably. She has one daughter. It's not like she has a bunch of kids and needs this big house. That's how you know something is not wrong with it. Not wrong with it. Something is wrong with Porsha, because for the simple fact that she wants to put herself in this type of situation. And then it even gets worse, because you're going to sell this property, right? Hopefully everything goes right with your mortgage, because if it don't, you still in a situation. So I just don't understand why she's putting everything on the line to get a house that it may not even go through. So at this point, the mama even got to move out, because honey, it's all about Porsha at this point. Mama got to go. And who knows, maybe the mother is going to move in with her. Who knows? I mean, that's a huge house. So it's not like, you know, she doesn't have extra room, but she is definitely selling the Duluth property. And I know some of you guys asked in the comments and you said, you know, is that the property that her mother lives in? That is, in fact, the property that her mother lives in. And it is also the property when Porsha was married to Cordell, and he pretty much threw her out, which is the reason why she feel like she got the upper hand with Simon, because she really traumatized from her first marriage. So this is making her feel like she accomplished what she didn't accomplish in the first marriage. But that's a whole nother subject. So when she ended up getting this property, that's the property. It's the Duluth property. So if you guys remember, when she got with Simon, she kept the property, and she was telling the court that her mother owned the property, or she gave it to her mother, which is very kind of crazy that she said this in court, and now she comes back to court and says she has to sell it. And I'm like, well, girl, if you gave it to your mother, why would you have to sell it? So it's just, you know, it's just a little crazy. But, you know, I don't know if it's going to work out for her. It's a lot that she needs to do in a relatively fast manner. Again, Simon said he ain't paying. They actually have to go back to court, I believe, in September. I haven't checked, but I believe it's in September. Now, when they go back in September, the only thing they are addressing is, have Simon made the payments? When they come back to court, because it's more than likely going to be a no, because he said he ain't paying, then what the court is going to do is issue the title. They're going to issue the title in a, I think it's a, I can't remember. I don't remember if it's a trust or something to that nature, something to that nature. Or the judge will probably just put it in Porsha's name. I'm not sure, because what will eventually happen if Simon does not pay, which he said he won't pay, Porsha's only point of recourse would be the equity. So keep in mind with the property, they're supposed to split the equity, but if Simon doesn't make those payments, she can deduct that out of the equity. So essentially, if he doesn't pay or he doesn't do any of these things that the judge told him he's supposed to do, which typically was in the prenup, all she can do is basically say, okay, the equity is, let's just say the equity is $1 million. Let's just say the equity is 2 million. Let's just say 2 million, which I don't think that it is, but let's just say they both get $1 million each. So if he never pays her, she'll deduct. So let's say he never pays and it comes up to he owes her 500,000, then he would get $1 million, but then she'll say no because you didn't pay this, so I'm taking 500,000. I don't think it'll be that high. In fact, I think this is going to be a stretch for her. Hopefully she'll be able to pull it off. But it's a stretch, honey. It is a stretch. Porsha has fallen on hard times, honey. She's trying to make it do what it do.
There's nothing got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell cause the tea don't stop.